the family of Charles Wajoike Rubia, Your Excellency, the President of the Republic of Kenya, and the Commander-in-Chief of the Kenya Defense Forces, the clergy, and dear mourners. First, I have a very short tribute from Raila Amolo Odinga. With your permission, you'll allow me to read it, and then I'll say a few words thereafter. I know we have to be very brief, and it reads as follows. Fellow Kenyans, I join you in saying our last respects to a great citizen, a great leader, and a great businessman. Personally, I have lost a friend and a comrade. Charles Rubia took on daunting historic tasks and pursued them with deep conviction. He showed this character as the first African mayor of Nairobi and as a member of parliament and then a cabinet minister and also as a businessman. In his more recent and best known public life, Rubia applied his energy to fighting for the restoration of multi-party democracy, a project in which we worked closely. That struggle restored his health and nearly cost him his life. I had the honor of working closely with Rubia during this period, which was one of the most trying times in the life of this nation. And I can testify that he had firm principles that he was ready to defend at all costs. He could articulate his principles clearly and courageously and act upon them decisively. We share the family's grief, but we also share the family's pride in Charles. It is my hope that this life can be a guide as we seek to fight corruption, defend democracy, and steady our economy. May Charles rest in lasting peace. That's the message from Raila Amolo Odinga. And as I was sitting down here, I also got a message from the Speaker of the Senate, who is out in the United States of America, and he also passes his condolences. And with your permission, Your Excellency, if I may just be allowed to say a word. Murang'a is a county of giants. And amongst the giants of Murang'a, Rubia towers very tall. In fact, the only other giant from Murang'a that they stand together with on the same pedestal is Kenneth Jindo Matiba. But there are so many giants from this county. I can say that probably Siaya compares very well, but we'll have to take an audit to know who has produced more giants. But allow me, Your Excellency, to say this, and I was motivated to say this from what the bishop was saying, and even earlier speakers were saying about patriotism. And patriotism is one of the foundational principles of our republic. Patriotism. And patriotism does not mean just love for country. It means loving your fellow citizens, loving thy neighbor. And Your Excellency, we are going through a very critical period in this country. And if you were to remember Rubia for what he stood for and what legacy has left us, we should take stock of what we can do in this nation to make it a nation of patriots. You know, the people in this country actually, in their very big way, but in a small ways because we don't see it, are patriotic. Over the Christmas period, I had a little party in my village, and we were presenting a member of the county assembly known as Oscar Omondi, elected in Kiambu. You know, people could not believe that you could have an MCA popularly elected in Kiambu. And those who were there in the days of Fort Silly, there used to be a councillor in Muranga called Mr. Wino, who was a very powerful person in Muranga. If you wanted a seat in Muranga, probably you ended up in the house of Mr. Wino. And we used to come here and see him. So, Your Excellency, me, I would want to plead to Kenyans. We can talk politics, we can talk constitution. Countries have made experiments. At the times of Julius Caesar, they had what was called a consulate. They could not trust one person with power. You had to have a consulate. That didn't seem to work. Uganda has been through so many experiments. So, Your Excellency, what you have come up with for the Kenyan people to talk, please let us talk. And I was impressed by CS Monica the other day with her dear husband, Professor Kagwanja, when I met them in Yala, visiting Professor Bethel Ogot, who turned 90 just the other day. And nikapenya huko kwenda kumwona Bethel Ogot, hata mimi kama mtu kutoka kwa county, and he told me, you have remembered too late, that somebody from Muranga had time for that professor. And when Monica and Kagwanja were there, he wore a suit, a complete suit to receive them, like every good Luo would do when, when they have a very good, a very important visitor. So let me conclude by saying that this opportunity that you offered us, let's seize it. This is what has made Kenya a different country. Anytime we are about to fall, we always come together and talk as a nation. And the time is now. And Kenya is bigger than all of us. And the last time I checked, what you are concerned about is not about who ascends to power, it's about creating a system that works for all. And for that, I think the Kenyan people will have a better legacy. And remember, even Idi Amin was a president. If all you want from your tribe is a president, Idi Amin was a president. But what system did he have? President Uhuru Kenyatta, be confident that the people of Kenya are behind you about building this system, and that we have a conversation together without fearing, and make Kenya truly great. We are better than most countries in Africa. And Muranga is right at the center of Kenya, and together between the lake and the mountain, we can make a greater nation rise. Sijui kama mmesikia hapo, asanteni.